Hey, what's up guys? I'm Kavadlo. Welcome to another edition of Ask Al. Today's first question comes from a user named CSirVivo who writes, Al Kavadlo, you are the best. Your videos are awesome. I have a question. I'm 19 years old, 6'4", and weigh only 60 kilograms. What I wanted to ask was, can I gain muscles by doing only body weight exercises? I don't get time to go to the gym. I practice basketball every day for 4 to 5 hours. If I do body weight exercises apart from that, am I going to gain any muscle and strength? Well, first off, thanks for the compliment. I'm glad you like my videos. As for your question, there's two things that need to happen if you want to gain muscle mass. The first thing is you've got to stimulate muscle growth by breaking down your muscles using resistance training. This can be in the form of body weight exercises or weights or machines. It really comes down to personal preference. You guys know what my personal preference is. Once you've established that, the second thing that needs to happen is you've got to be eating a lot. If you want to gain muscle, you have to gain weight. And if you want to gain weight, you have to be in a caloric surplus. Now, I know you probably eat a lot already, but you're a young guy and you expend a lot of energy playing all that basketball. So however much you're eating, you've got to eat more if you want to grow. Next question comes from a user named LeoHHW who writes, maybe you could do a progressive calisthenics leg raise video. Good idea, Leo. In fact, I made a progressive calisthenics leg raise video very recently, and you can check it out by clicking the link right here. Next question comes from a user named Bodyweight Freedom who writes, are there any exercises you neglected a lot when you began training that you wish you didn't neglect? Good question. And the answer is yes. When I started out, like a lot of young guys, I was really only concerned about my arms. So I did a lot of pull-ups and I did a lot of push-ups. I didn't start doing squats until I was in my 20s. And that's definitely something that if I could turn back the clock, I would have started doing squats as soon as I started doing strength training. Another exercise that I didn't get into until later on in my training is the back bridge. And bridging is such a great exercise, and I wish I had started doing those earlier. But hey, better late than never. Next question comes from a user named Bill Kim. Bill writes, hey Al, thanks for the honest and inspirational advices. I've actually working out for quite a while and can do several kipping muscle-ups, human flag, handstand, etc. But for several months I feel like I'm stuck and progress seems not as tangible as when I first started. I was thinking about going back to doing basic exercises, weighted pull-ups, weighted dips, and pistol. Do you think getting stronger at those exercises will help me further improve my overall calisthenics? Good question, Bill. And I'm glad you like my stuff. I'm glad I've inspired you on your fitness journey. As far as what you're asking me about, it's always a good idea to go back to basics. A strong foundation will make you stronger on everything else. There's also a concept called diminishing returns, which I think you're starting to experience. What that means is the farther along you get on your journey, the harder it becomes to continue to make progress. When you're new to working out and you go from not doing anything at all to doing anything at all, that's a huge hurdle and you make a lot of gains quickly in the beginning. When you've been training consistently for a long time, progress starts to slow down and you've got to be a little more patient and work a little bit harder towards getting those advanced exercises. If things like human flags and clean muscle-ups were easy to do, you'd see an awful lot more people doing them. Last question of the day comes from a user named pdude1911 who writes, one arm elbow lever progression video please. I can do two-handed, but always face plant when I try and on one. Well, as you're already starting to figure out for yourself, that jump between a two-arm elbow lever and a one-arm elbow lever is a huge chasm, and it takes a ton of practice to make that transition. I do have a tutorial on elbow levers that you can view right here, and it does get into the one-arm variation. If you want more in-depth tutorial, check out my Raising the Bar DVD. The link is in the description below. Also, of course, check out my books, Raising the Bar, Pushing the Limits. I talk about elbow levers in both of those books. And again, I'll put the links below so you can check those out. That's all the time I've got for today. As always, leave your comments and your questions for me, and hopefully I'll get to yours on the next edition of Ask Al. I'm Al Kavadlo, and we're working out.